you got saved for a while, you got so saved that after a while you didn't realize it, but you've let some of them devils come back into your home.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You let your standards down.
Right.
Hey, we're having a good time in Culloden tonight.
Amen.
Amen.
You are putting up with things now that you didn't put up with 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Slowly, literally, you've let a little bit of demons come into your family, into your home. Some of you are wondering why your children don't want to go to church no more, love God. You let the devil come into your house and it's invading those children's minds.
Amen.
You thought, well, all the other families do it. Good families, a church family. Well, the deacon and his wife and family, they let this go on in their home.
Right.
If the deacon allowed, they're supposed to be a leader in the church, and it's all right for the rest of us, right? It's good for the deacon, it's good for us. No.
Yeah.
Well, it got quiet.
Amen.
I like it when it gets good and quiet because I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
You don't realize that the devil wants to destroy your family.
Yes, sir.
Wants to destroy your marriage, wants to destroy your home. And if you open the door for him, he'll easily walk through that door.
Right.
Yeah, hold on, James. Just got one more and I'm done. You can talk. Look in Acts chapter number 9. You're there, Mark. Look in Acts chapter 9 and I'm done. Acts 9. Where in his name but stay in the same. If you get right with God, you won't be the same. None of these people were. In fact, we can talk about that maniac. That maniac fell in love with Jesus. And he wanted to follow him. You know what Jesus told him to do? He said, now listen, you just go back home and you tell all those people, all your kinfolk, all those people from your hometown and your community, you tell them what great things God has done for you.
Amen.
Just you go back. You don't need to follow me here. You follow me at your home and just go back to your wife and kids and get your marriage straightened out and get everything going good. Get them children who are afraid of you, falling in love with their daddy again. And you just go back and tell, by the way, just be the kind of Christian man you need to be. And when you walk into town, those people that first saw you out there full of demons are going to be scared of you. And all of a sudden they're going to know you're a changed man.
Yeah, amen.
You shaved the beard off.
Yeah.
You've cleaned up your, you got a haircut. Well, they clothes, you got clothes on. You never wore clothes before. You got clothes on.
Yep.
You're dressed right. You look clean.
Yeah.
You look nice. What happened to you? I met Jesus.
Amen.
I met Jesus. Well, I'll show you another man that met Jesus. Acts 9. You know about him. This is my hero. In Acts chapter number 9. Look, if you would, verse number 1. The Bible said, and Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went into the high priest. Here's a religious man. Here's a man that was religious but lost. Verse 2, and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven, and he fell to the earth, and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? Jesus is speaking to him. Notice his response to Jesus, verse 5, and he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. In other words, something was happening in his heart and his mind. Look at verse 6. And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? The Lord said unto him, arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, something happened here. This is where Saul of Tarsus comes in contact with Jesus Christ, and he gets saved. Something transpired in this context here where he came to Jesus, trusted Jesus, said, Lord, who art thou? He said, I am Jesus whom thou He never laid a hand on Jesus.
No.
As far as I know, him and Jesus had never seen each other before. In fact, Jesus died in 33 AD, and Paul is ministering here a little bit later after that. As far as I know, they'd never seen each other. But boy, did Paul hate Christians. He was out to destroy them. He was out to put them in jail, prison. And he had a encounter with Jesus. You say, well, what happened to him, preacher? He came away with different aspirations. He wanted to follow Jesus, and Jesus said, hold it, I've got news for you. Look over verse 15. But the Lord said unto him, go thy way, for he, Paul, is a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. Wow. God says he's a chosen vessel for me now. From that day forward, he changed his name from Saul to Paul. We call him the Apostle Paul, a follower of Jesus. And brother, if there is a greater Christian anywhere than the Apostle Paul, I'd like to meet him. I don't think anybody ever on this earth has ever been as great a Christian as the Apostle Paul. I might be wrong. There may be some close, but there's never a man like Paul. He had an encounter with Jesus. He wore the name, and I'll tell you what, he didn't stay the same. He wasn't out murdering Christians no more. He was out fellowshipping with them. He was out to make people Christians. At one time, he was fighting against Christianity, and now he's trying to build up the church. He's trying to get people to join Christianity. What a change happened in his life. You had something to say. Well, go ahead, brother.
I'm just thinking about what you were saying. We live long enough to see changes that these young
Yes.
people understand.
Yes.
When Dave and I were police officers, 40-some years ago, homosexuality was against the law.
Right.
They're going away with our law.
Yep.
Now it's got to the point where your law will have a first lady named Fred.
You're right.
It's a sin against humanity. It's a sin against God.
Yes, sir.
And somebody would vote for somebody like that, that's where our laws come to take the bet.
Right.
Vote for that man, you're going to make it possible for him to keep doing what he's doing.
Right.
But when it may be killer, you're going to make it possible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, amen, that's true.
Exactly.
No murder, you're going to go into heaven, you're equal guilty, then you ain't going to make it either, brother, if you're hoping to vote for the people.
Exactly.
That's all I got to say about that. Just
Hey.
someday, these young folks ain't seen that.
Right. You're right, brother. We failed to realize that.
Oh, man,
You had to be here back in the 50s to see what's. I'm not saying everything in the 50s, 60s was perfect. There was bad things happening then, but not like it is today. Not like it is today. That's why it makes us gray-haired people sit there and go, ooh, what in the world has happened? Do you realize that back in the 50s, if you watch, and I know you all don't like black and white, you got to realize that's all we had. We didn't have color TV programs. They were all black and white. We had Leave It to Beaver. By the way, if you went into the home of the Cleaver family and you went into their bedroom, Mr. Cleaver had a bed over here and Mrs. Cleaver had a bed over there. They didn't even sleep together.
No,
They had two little single beds inside their room.
yeah,
Hollywood wouldn't even let them go to bed together because it was against the moral fiber of America at that time.
yeah, that's true.
That shows you how clean things were back then. You had Andy Griffith on there. Now, the only thing I hate about Andy Griffith, every time he took a break, he had a cigarette in his mouth. I say, Andy, get that old filthy cigarette out of your mouth, amen. But you just, the programming back then was tame,
Right, very.
family oriented. Nowadays, it's just entirely different. I don't want to go into it. I think it's sad because young people have been indoctrinated that this is the right way when it's wicked and sin. Amen. All right, let's stand to our feet. I'm done. That's just a little Bible lesson. Just throw down a little Bible lesson to you here tonight. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm mad at the devil. You ask me if I'm mad at the devil, you better believe I'm mad at the devil. Are you mad at the devil? Amen. I said, are you mad at the devil, church? Amen. You ought to be. You got to pray for your children and young'uns. I'm serious. By the way, if you got grandchildren that are in their 20s and 30s, you better get on your knees and plead with God in heaven. Get them children, get them young people to wake up. Wake up to what is happening in this world. Now they're going to think, I know Grandma, Grandpa, they're going to think you're just an old fogey. You don't know what you're talking about, but you do know what you're talking about. In fact, to be honest, you're smarter than them. They may have a college education, but you're much smarter. You're spiritually smarter. And you know what's going to happen in the future because you got a book that tells you what's going to happen in the future. Sad day in our country. Today's a sad day. Sad times we're living in. I feel sorry for children. I feel sorry for them. The devil's running loose because he knows he has a short time. Somebody better get on their knees and pray for this country. Pray for our nation. Pray for the children and young people across this land. Let's bow our heads and look to the Lord in prayer. Father, you know the need here better than I do. God, I just want to see people saved. Lord, the corruption, the filth, the rebellion that's in our country today is unbelievable. Starting right up here in the White House, Lord. Starting right up here in Congress, in the Senate, Washington. A bunch of babies can't get along with each other. Can't do what is right for our nation and our country. Sad day in America. Everybody wanting their way. Not willing to bend. Not willing to compromise. Not willing to cooperate. And all this is filtering down here, Lord, into the nation and into the families and the homes of Americans. God, we know that when a husband and wife get married, they have to learn to cooperate with each other. They may never see eye to eye on every detail, but if a man is smart, he'll cooperate with his wife, and if a wife is smart, she'll cooperate with her husband. They do it for the good of the marriage and their love for one another. Lord, help us as Christians to love people, love souls, hate the devil, and serve Jesus while we're here on this earth. May we do our best for Jesus. That is my prayer here tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's have that song.
Page 381. 361. Page 361. Last verse. Come on, church, sing it, everybody. Here we go now. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Farewell, farewell. We'll never have to pray when we get to heaven. Nobody prays in heaven. Won't have to. The Lord's right there. You talk to Him right up front to Him. You realize all the conversations we're going to have in heaven? Man, you're going to talk to angels. You're going to communicate with them. You're going to talk to that angel that went into Mary's room that night and announced to her that she was going to have a baby. Can you imagine sitting down and talking to Gabriel? Can you imagine sitting down and talking to the Old Testament saints? What a joy that's going to be. Hey, Daniel, how was it like when they threw you into them den of lions, all them lions in the window? Oh, he said, let me explain that to you. I'll give you some insight there. Wow. Now the Bible's accurate. He's just going to add to what actually happened. You're going to hear it from the lips of the one that experienced it. Hey Saul, what was it like to be struck down there in the book of Acts and fall to the earth? Let me tell you how that went about. Let me just explain to you the experience I had. Woo. We're going to run into them. We're also going to run into those Christians that were burned at the stake. I must confess, I'm going to be up there with them, but I think I'm going to be very quiet. Just listen to their testimony. And I ain't going to say a word. Just go sit and listen. And I pray, I will be praying, and pray to God they don't ask me, well, what did you go through, Pastor Spurlock? Well, I ran into an angry Baptist woman. What'd she do to you? She said, I hated your sermon. Wow, you hurt my feelings. I didn't want her to hate my sermon. She did. I'm telling you, we're going to run into people who went through some things. Bow your heads. Let's get out of here, all right? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Brother Danny Johnson, dismiss us in prayer, brother, if you would, sir. Amen. Amen. Good night. God bless you. Have a great evening. We'll see you Wednesday night. May the Lord be with you.